Thousands of Africans in America are returning to Liberia with the repatriation of Liberian diplomat and Consul General the 23rd of April 2018. Now that the Republic of Liberia is currently in talks to repatriate Dr. Malachi York, a Liberian diplomat who is languishing in Florence ADX Supermax prison, in the U.S., thousands of his supporters of the United Nuwaubians worldwide who are particularly Africans in America and Africans in the Caribbean are preparing to return home to the land that they view historically as a land of liberty, the Republic of Liberia. This new exodus of Africans in America to Liberia is a continuation of the settling migrations of descendants of African slaves and indigenous peoples of the Americas that have long wished to return back to their grassroots to escape the racism, discrimination and abuses endured in the U.S. This prepared exodus is not something new. Great African American leaders implemented plans to immigrate to Africa known as Back to Africa movements during the late 1800s and 1900s. Marcus Garvey particularly was pivotal in motivating thousands of Africans in America to journey across the Atlantic on the Black Star ship line to settle in the great land of liberty to join the extended families of West Africa in Sierra Leone and Liberia. This new exodus has gained momentum in the U.S. as thousands of Africans in America plan in joint ventures to assist in the rapid development of West Africa. Dr. Dusua York, chair of the International Diaspora African Forum and president of the Dr. Malachi York Foundation here in Liberia, says that it is imperative that Africans in America encourage the pursuit of the land of liberty in West Africa. Liberia and like countries has always been our home to pursue real equal opportunities, a place where you will be accepted by your very own kind with open arms. Africans in America contribute to billions of dollars annual to the economy of the U.S., yet they still are continuously discriminated against, and racism in the country has seemed to become more overt and socially accepted as normal. With the repatriation of Dr. Malachi York, a Liberian West African leader of Africans in the diaspora, his 40-year influence of great leadership amongst the people have led to an inspiring conscious awakening of the realization that African is for Africans, and that in order for the successful rise of Liberia as an economic powerhouse on the continent, Nuwaubians worldwide, Africans in America have to contribute to the economic stimulation needed to secure the future the Republic of Liberia. On March 31, 2018, President Donald Trump recently lifted the protection of Liberians in the U.S. and ending a program that has allowed immigrants to remain in the United States and work legally since 1999. Nearly 800,000 refugees fled Liberia during the war. Some sought protection in the U.S. This program ending is a reality check for many Liberians that the U.S. is no longer welcoming Africans in America, giving greater meaning this new exodus and repatriation of Africans in America back to Liberia. Along with repatriation of Dr. Malachi Z. York, many Liberians feel as though it is time to come together and continue to build where we are welcomed. This modern-day exodus will do great wonders for the peoples of the Republic, as the Africans in America who are preparing to resettle here are bringing profession skills and craftsmanship, educators in academics and health, master builders, engineers, architects and other skill sets needed to balance the needs of the peoples of Liberia. Let's welcome our sisters and brothers with open arms as they work with the Republic of Liberia to continuously restore the dignity and pride of our nation. Monrovia, Dr. Malachi Z. York, a Liberian diplomat, is said to be languishing in solitary confinement in a U.S. prison without any medical care accorded him, even though diagnoses show that he is suffering from complicated diseases, including hereditary angioedema. In light of this finding and following a clarion call on the Liberian government to help free Dr. York from prison and subsequently vie for his unconditional repatriation to Liberia, hence he was a Liberian diplomat in Georgia. The law office of Ms. Victoria Browsett is calling on the U.S. justice system to allow her client freedom from imprisonment due to his, Dr. York, deteriorating health condition. In her open and general communication to the U.S. justice system, Broussard claimed that bad prison conditions have immensely contributed to Dr. York's deteriorating health condition and he may die a wrongful death if care is not taken. Due to the treatment of the USA prison conditions and their torturous behavior towards Dr. Malachi Z.K. York and violating his diplomatic rights, his human rights, and constitutional rights for the past 16 years, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York has been rushed to an outside medical center due to his angioedema, and not receiving proper medicine for his hereditary angioedema, Broussard said. She said there is a medical urgency which calls for Dr. York's removal from the prison facility of ASP Florence at Max in the state of Colorado to an ideal health facility that will provide him an unconditional medical care so as to save him from dying wrongfully. She referred to the death of Jeffrey A. Buller who died in the Colorado U.S. prison system at the Kit Carson Correctional Center in 2001. 24 hours before his release due to improper medical care and neglect of his hereditary angioedema is a bad sign for a democracy said to be at its peak in the Comity of Nations. Broussard noted it is sad that up to this day the U.S. justice system is yet to believe that Dr. York was a Liberian diplomat before his arrest and imprisonment in 2002. The USA prison has also declared him mentally unstable because he declares being a Liberian citizen and appointed consul general, she said. She pointed out that even though the Bureau of Prisons in the United States has confirmed that Dr. York had a diagnosis of the hereditary angioedema disease and began to treat him earlier, yet since he was transferred to ASP Florence at Max in Colorado, and given a stringent solitary confinement with a complete disregard of the continuation of his treatment for the disease. In her General Clarion Call note she outlined metamorphoxia ocular migraines, both eyes, hypertension, high blood pressure, asthma and allergies, hereditary angioedema and patellofemoral pain syndrome, bad knee pain that calls for the use of wheelchair, as some of the terrible diseases her client is now troubled by. Other diseases and unhealthy conditions uncovered from recent diagnosis and investigation include syncope, faints, blackouts not sure of the cause, his medication is governed by the prison, gum and tooth decay, muscle atrophy, bad nutrition, lack of access to sunshine and exercise, she said. Broussard alarmed that the hereditary angioedema which causes swelling of the major organs of the human body may kill Dr. York as soon as possible and if care is not taken and his innocence of the crimes levied against him may not be brought to light. The verdict handed down against Dr. York in 2004 was on federal charges of racketeering, money laundering and transporting minors in interstate commerce for purposes of engaging in unlawful sexual activity. But having disagreed with the verdict, friends and sympathizers of York have sought to make the facts public that disprove the charges against the Consul General. In so doing, Sakar Aha, Dentut Reye, and Dr. Dusua York, 3 members of the Malachi York Foundation who are presently in Liberia to seek Liberian government's intervention for the release of York, presented to Daily Observer from the 6th Liberian Circuit Court's judgment and a letter written to Dr. York from former President Charles Gankay Taylor, appointing him to the post of Consul General, and an amicus brief in defense of Dr. York from the Republic of Liberia which depict that he is a Liberian diplomat and not guilty of the charges levied against him in the U.S.